Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kassandra and today we're doing a really quick hip opening yoga flow. I had the opportunity to film this class when I was in Florida and the sky was just so beautiful behind me. I couldn't really resist doing a little class for you. So let's begin in Malasana, a yogi squat. Heels in, toes out. And you can use your elbows to maybe press the knees open a little wider, or you can keep your knees a little closer together like what I'm doing here. Just let the hips sink down, lengthen out of the low back, connecting to your breath. And we'll make our way into a Ragdoll Fold. So with the feet wider than the hips and really a lot wider than the hips. So much wider than your mat. You can just dangle a little bit from side to side. Bend your knees a lot. They really don't need to be perfectly straight here. Try to relax the upper back, the shoulders, the neck, and the head. So I'm obviously not using a yoga mat, but you want your feet really, really wide. Bring your feet heels in, toes out, and bring your palms all the way up towards the knees and the upper inner thighs. So sinking down like in your goddess pose, let your right shoulder drop down and pull that left shoulder back. So taking a little twist, opening through the chest, and then move to the other side, left shoulder down, right shoulder back, and you can push that left thigh open a little bit more. And bring the upper body to center. You're going to interlace your fingers, flip the palms, and reach the arms up for your goddess pose. Squeeze into the glutes to press the knees open a little bit wider. Reach up long through the arms. And interlace your fingers behind your lower back, wide-legged forward fold. Straighten the legs as you tilt forward and down. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Move in any way that feels good here. And we'll be coming into a downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward, bring your feet back in about hip width distance apart or so. And you can bend your knees, create some space in the hamstrings, push the chest to the thighs. Right leg extends up to the sky, bend your right knee, open up that hip, and maybe take a little knee circle here. We'll be stepping the right foot forward in between the palms, back knee to the floor, finding a low lunge. Right knee is directly over your ankle, and then the hands can come down to the hips. Think of grounding the tailbone down, lifting out of the low back, and only if it's within reach, you can catch a hold of your back heel and take a quad stretch. This is quite deep, so if it's not accessible, just stay in a low lunge. Think of lifting the heart up, drawing the navel in. Release the hold of your back foot, bring the palms back down to the mat, and we're coming up to a warrior two. So back foot spins parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. Right knee is still bending generously, pressing that leg open. Reverse, left hand down, right arm up, side bend. Inhale, warrior two. Interlace your fingers behind your lower back and dive down, humble warrior. So the chest is leaning to the inside of that right thigh. Knuckles are extending up and over. Relax your head, relax your neck. A strong pose. And then facing forward once more, frame that front foot. Three-legged dog. Right leg goes all the way back and up, squeezing into the glutes. Look forward, step the right foot to the outer edge of your right hand. So both palms to the inside of that leg. We're coming into gecko. So you can let your right knee drop over to the side and maybe come down onto your forearms. If the forearms is too much, stay up onto the palms. You're trying to melt the hips forward and down. And again, if you can, take a quad stretch. Right arm reaches to the back, maybe holding onto your left foot as you pull that left heel in towards the glutes. Breathe all the way down through the low belly and low back. Release the back foot, Hands to the mat, start to curl and lift back up. We'll take a little flow. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale to your downward facing dog, and we'll do that sequence on the other side. So from your downward facing dog, left leg goes up, bend your left knee, open up that hip, and maybe take a little knee circle here if you did it on the first side. We'll take our low lunge, left foot forward, back knee down to the mat, or to the sand if you're outside. Hands can come onto your hips. So low lunge is your first option. You can stay and hold here, or if you did it on the first side, take your quad stretch, reaching back, pulling the heel in towards the glutes. Think of lengthening your tailbone down, pulling the navel in so you're not arching in the low back too much here, staying up pretty high. Melting the hips forward and down. Warrior 2, back foot parallel to the shorter edge of your mat, arms and chest lift up. Keep your left knee bending generously over your ankle, hips are grounded. And change nothing in the legs, just reverse the arms, right hand down, left arm up. Inhale, warrior 2. Interlace your palms behind the lower back the more unusual way, and then dive forward and down, humble warrior. Truly learn to relax your neck here. Let your head be heavy. Try to push that left knee open a little bit more by pushing into your left arm. And start to frame your front foot. We're coming back to our three-legged dog. Left leg goes all the way up and back, and we'll take our little gecko pose on the other side. So your left foot steps to the outer edge of your left hand, back knee comes down to the floor, and you can roll to the outer edge of that left foot so that you're pushing that left knee open a little bit, external hip rotation, and maybe sinking down lower by coming down to your forearms. So of course I'm doing this on the sand, so I don't need any padding, but you might want to double up your mat. Take your quad stretch, left arm reaches back to hold onto the right foot, pull it in towards you. Keep a nice lift in the chest, deep breath in and out through the nose. One more deep breath here. And we release, so we'll take our vinyasa, inhaling to plank, exhale to chaturanga, inhale to your upward dog, and we meet back, child's pose, big toes together, knees as wide as you would like them to be, and let your forehead rest down. Take a few deep breaths here. And you're welcome to stay in child's pose, or you can take frog pose instead. So frog, you want your knees bent at a 90-degree angle, and you want your hips to stay in line with your knees. And try to flex your feet here. This is a very, very deep stretch for the inner thighs and inner groin. If it's too much for you right now, just stay in a wide-legged child's pose. The two poses are very similar. Frog is just a little bit higher on the intensity scale. Try to melt the heart and the hips down to the floor beneath you. Let go of any tension in the legs or in the low back. And start to lift back up. So we are all going to come and take a seat and swing your legs forward until you can lower down to the ground, coming into our reclined pigeon pose. So with your knees bent, feet flat on the mat, cross your right and maybe reach through with your arms as you draw that left knee into the belly. Relax the shoulders and the head down to the mat. And flexing the right foot is what helps to protect your knee here. So think of curling the toes back towards your shin. Making this more of a passive stretch. Keep the figure 4 shape, just let your left foot come back down to the mat, and then you're going to drop your left leg over to the left until your right foot comes down to the ground. And I like to use my left hand to push the knee further away. You can extend your right arm out to the side so your right shoulder stays grounded. This is a great IT band stretch. So you should be feeling this in the outer edge of your right hip and maybe down the side of your right leg. Lift your knees back up to center, and let's take reclined pigeon pose on the other side. Cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee. Keep the foot flexed and reach through with your arms to draw the right thigh in a little closer to the belly. And right foot to the ground. Let your right thigh drop over to the side until your left foot comes in contact with the floor. And you can reach your left arm out to the side, and I like to use the right hand to push the left knee further away from the belly. So you want your left knee to roughly be pointing straight up towards the sky. Depending on the tightness in the hips and the IT band, this might not be completely possible, which is perfectly fine. Just keep intending it to move away from your chest. Feel the breath travel all the way down to the hips. And we'll lift the legs and uncross. Make your way into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up some space and just feel the effects of this short, quick practice. Hopefully your hips feel open and well, because I am at the beach, I am of course going to finish my yoga class by taking a nice long dip in the ocean. Thank you so very much everyone for doing this yoga practice with me. I know it was very quick. I have some other full-length yoga classes on my channel. If you are new, please do subscribe. I put out new full-length classes every single week. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.